Welcome to Deen Vibe. Today, we share the narration of the verse that fed generations, a story of wealth from the heavens. In the quiet stillness before dawn, when most of the world still sleeps, a man rises, not for wealth, not for power, but for prayer. He performs ablution, stands before his Lord, and whispers into the silence, words older than time, yet powerful enough to shake the earth. But this is no ordinary prayer. This is no ordinary verse. Because what if I told you that one single verse of the Qur'an, recited with faith 11 times after Fajr, could change not just your life, but the destiny of 11 generations after you? Would you believe it? Let me take you on a journey. A tale woven with history, hardship, divine mercy, and the kind of wealth that no vault on earth could contain. The hidden treasure of the morning. Rather than stretch your hands in desperation before people, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ once told his ummah of a secret, a spiritual key passed quietly from the heavens, a verse so blessed, so potent that it could unlock rizq, that is sustenance, from places you could never imagine. He said, Allah is kind to his servants. He provides for whom he wills, and he is the strong, the mighty. Surah Ash-Shuraa 42:19. Just 11 times. But there's a catch. You must believe. You must recite it at the most sacred of times, after Fajr prayer, when angels are spread across the earth, recording every utterance, and the air is still thick with divine mercy. And those who do this, they don't just become wealthy, they become rivers of provision for 11 generations after them. A lesson from history. When the Ummah had nothing but Allah. Let us rewind to 1,400 years ago. Not to a palace, not to a battlefield, but to a dim-lit cave where a man, Muhammad ibn Abdullah ﷺ, hid from an empire that wanted him dead. He had no soldiers, no treasure, no banners flying high, only faith. As he stood against the Quraysh, the wealthiest and most powerful tribe in Arabia, what did he have? A handful of slaves rejected by society, the destitute who had nothing but rags to cover themselves, and one woman, Saida Khatija R.A., who emptied every coin of her fortune to support the message of Islam. Her goal didn't go to buying luxury. It went to buying food for the hungry. It went to freeing slaves. It went to building a future ummah that the world would never forget. And then came the test that would shake the very foundations of the earth. The Battle of Badr. Wealth versus faith. On the 17th of Ramadan, in a small dusty town called Badr, 313 Muslims, hungry, barefoot, exhausted, faced an army 3 times their size. The Quraysh had weapons, war horses, armor. The Muslims had dua. The night before the battle, while the Quraysh indulged in music, wine, and boasting, the Prophet ﷺ spent the entire night in sujood, crying before Allah. Oh Allah, if this group is destroyed today, you will not be worshipped on earth again. As dawn broke, the sky darkened, not with clouds, but with angels. Jibril, Mikael, Israfil, each descending with 1,000 angels to support the believers. And when the battle ended, victory belonged to the poor. The Quraysh leaders lay in the dust, their arrogance broken. And what came next? Wealth, honor, power. From that moment, the Ummah of Muhammad ﷺ rose like a tide, under the leadership of Umar ibn Khattab, Usman ibn Affan, and Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. They went from sleeping hungry to feeding nations. The Islamic Empire became so prosperous, even after 1,400 years, its legacy still echoes in the palaces of the Ottomans and the golden domes of Andalusia. But somewhere along the road of time, we forgot. We began chasing wealth through haram means, relying on people instead of Allah, measuring success by bank balances instead of barakah. And so, poverty returned, not just to our homes, but to our hearts. But the verse remains, a heavenly door waiting to be knocked upon by the tongue of the faithful. And the key? Simple. After Fajr or Isha, sit down with sincerity. Recite any Durud Sharif 11 times. Then say, Allahu latifum bi ibadihi yaruzuku man yashahu wa huwa kawiyul aziz. Surah Ash-Shuraa 42:19. 11 times, slowly, mindfully, believing in every word. Recite Durud Sharif again 11 times. Then, raise your hands and ask Allah for your rizq, your children, your grandchildren, your generations. Do this every day. Never stop, because one day it will come. And when it does, you won't just have enough. You'll have more than enough to feed a nation. A legacy of wealth and worship. So many before you did it. Silent, forgotten men and women who left no businesses behind, no real estate, no fame. Yet today, their descendants live in comfort, protected by the blessings of one verse repeated in the darkness before dawn. What about you? Will you be the one your generations remember as the ancestor who unlocked the treasures of heaven? Will your children say, our wealth began the day our grandfather woke for Fajr and whispered the verse of abundance? Because rizq is not just money. It's peace, it's protection, it's provision from the unseen. And it begins with 11 words. Final prayer. Ya Allah, open for us the doors of your unseen treasures. Grant us and our children barakah in sustenance. Protect us from asking from people